Dudes on Movies podcast with your hosts, Scott Charboneau and David Lynn Miller.
Welcome to Dudes on Movies. I'm your dude, Scott.
I'm your dude, Dave.
And today we're discussing 2000's The Legend of Drunken Master, directed by Liu Kar-lung and starring Jackie Chan. Dave, why don't you give everyone a synopsis?
Yes, this is a Hong Kong-produced kung fu action film in which a Chinese physician's son accidentally steals a valuable artifact, and he becomes wanted by British colonizers and their henchmen. He's also an expert fighter, but he uses a specific style that simulates drunkenness, which people are either suspicious of or fascinated by. It's one of the essentials of Hong Kong cinema, and we're going to break it down for you.
Yes, sir. And we put this on the schedule. It was my doing. I picked this one. And I did so because I remember watching this like 20 years ago or something, like when it first came out in the States, and thinking it was awesome. But I don't remember too much about it. I remember some of the fights, and that's about it.
Okay.
So I wanted to revisit it. And I've been a big fan of Jackie Chan since, he quote-unquote debuted in America with Rumble in the Bronx. He had done tons of stuff back in the 70s and 80s, right? But
right.
That film got Americanized for us here, and it just, it blew up, right? He became an international star after that.
Yeah.
And so I know we've done a Jackie Chan movie before, but maybe we should have done Bruce Lee or something. But I just wanted to do some kung fu again, and this felt like the right one.
Right, and I'm glad we're doing one that's, a true... This is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Who Am I was less good than this film.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the plot of this one's... Well, the plot's pretty good. The execution of the plot might not be the best.
Right.
But the fights, they definitely are the best.
Let's just get into it. My goodness. And just like Spirited Away in anime, I need to admit at the beginning that I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not an expert on these films. It just, there are people who are, and like, I'm not, I hear RZA talk about Hong Kong cinema, and I'm just like, good Lord, this guy knows everything.
Yeah, dude.
But like, with the fights, some of them are violent with real consequences, but most of the time, they still have to be funny.
Yeah.
Which is why Jackie Chan is often compared to Buster Keaton. And his comedy comes mostly from all the fixes he gets in. Mm-hmm. And then he has to do something jaw-droppingly physical to get out of it.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It is. It's, you watch a movie like this and you go, look what humans can do.
Maybe some crazy humans.
Yeah, I know.
Because Jackie Chan famously does all the stunts himself.
And when you try to watch for it, you know that going in, and you're just watching the screen really closely, saying, "Okay, yeah, that's his face. Yep, that's his face. Yep, that's definitely Jackie. Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's falling off that roof. Yep, that's really him."
Yep.
He actually took this thud that was unnatural, like lands on his collarbone, and you're like, and he just does a kip up, and he's grand.
Oh man, yeah. When you see some of these bumps, you can't believe he's still moving. It would cripple almost everybody else on Earth, but for some reason he's just impervious to pain. Yes, and it's a movie, right? So they do edits and cuts, right? But a lot of those, when you see him doing it, they're not cutting. You get the whole thing.
I know.
And it proves, yeah, he really did that. And then he walked away. Yes. And in some of the things, he doesn't walk away in some of his movies, but they cut it so it works and all that. But
right.
I don't think he ever got, on this one, severely injured, as far as I know.
Okay.
Just basic, regular injuries from this kind of work.
And that's something I forgot to look up, because I wanted to know how many bones has he broken in his life, and...
tons of them.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah, he's done so many crazy stunts. He, I think he fractured his skull doing something, jumping into a tree and falling or something.
I was hoping there wouldn't be any head injuries.
I forget what that movie is. The Masquerade or something from the 80s. Something like that. It was a big 80s one that... I don't think it came stateside at all.
Okay.
But yeah, he's done some crazy stuff in Super Cop and stuff like that.
Right.
The Police Story movies, electrocutions. This guy has gotten everything. Everything that can go wrong has happened to this guy, and we appreciate him for it.
Yes. You cannot help. It doesn't matter what your background is, and if this is the first film of his you've ever seen, or it's one of his other what we can say his lesser films, he's still so physically impressive that you come away from it going, "Oh my gosh, this guy's amazing."
Yeah, and he became the biggest star in Hong Kong in the late 70s, and he formed this style of kung fu movie kind of was his baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he created this kind of stuff, and he created what's called Jackie Chan Stuntmen Association,
Okay.
which was a group of guys. They all worked together under him, and they put out all these movies together. So like all the extras and the gangs and stuff are like his guys, like his crew, and they know how to work with each other and get more familiar with each other as the movies go on. So you get to see them doing more wilder and wilder stuff because they trust each other more. And like Jackie Chan is dodging like bamboo poles flying at his face constantly in this film. And it's like, if you don't move in time or trust the guy, like that could rip your eye out.
Of course, man. I mean, and I understand how like writing and planning a movie fight works. I mean, you figure out how it's supposed to look, then you practice it slowly first, and then everybody memorizes their marks, and eventually you get faster and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But these fights are so sophisticated and demanding that as a viewer, I get anxious picturing myself on set as one of the performers. Like, would I be able to get this?
Exactly.
And could I remember every move I was assigned and hit my mark every time? And if it was my job, I'm sure I could. But when you're sitting in a chair eating Doritos, I mean, it seems physically impossible.
Yeah, I had a frozen pizza myself. But yeah, and I do appreciate the credits usually have some like stunt bloopers, which are fun. But dude, like the stunts. This movie won like a bunch of awards in Hong Kong for action choreography because they actually have a category for that stuff.
Yes.
You know? All of his movies from this time period won all that stuff. Like he just swept. He has the most awards of anyone. He beat Sammo Hung. Like everybody is in the dust compared to Jackie Chan.
So he's like as decorated an actor and filmmaker as Daniel Day-Lewis or anyone really.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, he rightly so. I mean, like what he's done is it's such an accomplishment.
Yeah, and I mentioned Sammo Hung just now. He was inspired to create his own like stunt team, which he used for all his movies because of what Jackie Chan did.
And everybody, if you want to see, if you don't know who Sammo Hung is, obviously just seek out his movies. But like, picture a guy who can move like Jackie Chan, but he's 3 times the size.
Yeah. He's just as agile. Like, it's incredible.
Right.
I bought a tape of his in high school called They Call Me Fat Dragon. Okay. I don't know if that was like the American title or whatever, but we watched that thing into the ground, man. And it has the comedy of Jackie Chan. Like, a guy keeps getting bonked on the head by a pole, and it gets like a little Looney Tunes bump. But then the bump gets a bump, and it's like, it's like just this makeup in this Hong Kong movie.
So it's like Chuck Jones animation, but it's live. Wow, that's cool.
And this is all because of Jackie Chan. So, I guess one more thing before we really get into the movie. This movie, we said it came out in 2000, The Legend of Drunken Master. Originally, it came out in 1994 as Drunken Master 2, which was a sequel to the first Drunken Master movie, which I think came out in like 78 or something.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
It's like 16 years later, they made a sequel.
Yes.
And Jackie Chan's playing the same guy. And I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but I read that in this movie, he's like 10 years older than the woman who plays his stepmom, and only like 4 years younger than the guy who plays his dad.
I looked it up. Him and his dad are 8 years apart. And like, I'm watching it going, okay, that's definitely, he's not old enough to be this guy's dad. I mean, come on.
But besides that, like, the retitling of The Legend of Drunken Master, I guess, made it so America can just go right in without worrying about part 1. And you don't really need part 1 at all to enjoy this movie.
You don't. No, this is like a standalone story.
Yeah, and one last thing on the American thing is the poster for this movie is just Jackie Chan punching towards the camera through a white background, and that's it. There's nothing.
And he's not even in costume.
No, he's in a black T-shirt.
I mean, it's like it's completely unrelated.
It's like they took him from Rumble in the Bronx and just put him on a background, and that was it.
I think that is the same. It's like the same picture that was like used in America for Rumble in the Bronx and maybe even the Big Brawl.
Probably.
It's just Jackie Chan in a black T-shirt throwing a punch.
And I guess it worked because everyone wanted to see this.
Right.
Yeah, and man, it's worth seeing. So,
of course, yes.
Shall we get into the movie?
Yes, absolutely. And guys, before it even starts, even if you don't know anything about Golden Harvest, this logo against the black screen, it's one of the coolest graphics in cinema. And that short musical accompaniment really grabs you. It's like 3 notes, but it just, man, it's like, I want to watch whatever is coming after this. Now I'm set. Yeah,
it's a good intro. I love it.
Yes.
And so the movie opens up with a big crowd at this train station. It looks like a bunch of poor people. They've got like their bags and they're trying to get on the train. And I guess it's kind of like a customs area where they're going through.
Yes.
Because they start talking about how they're going to have to check their bags and pay taxes on things. And so Jackie Chan is there, his father and his brother. So Jackie Chan is Fei Hung Wong, and his dad is Dr. Wong.
Yes.
He's a physician, herbalist guy, and also like a kung fu master.
Yes.
Of course, because he is, right?
Of course.
And his brother, So. And he's kind of like the idiot character in the movie that everyone makes fun of.
Right. He tends the garden and he does other like tasks.
Takes blame for stuff.
Yes.
And, yeah. He's a big comedic relief in the movie.
Right.
So the three of them here, they came to get ginseng for Dr. Wong's practice. And Jackie Chan, I'm just going to call him that throughout the movie.
That's
it's just
fine.
natural for
Yeah.
me. He wants to hide it so they don't pay taxes. And what he does, he sees like the English consul come through. And, like, they just get to walk through without paying any taxes. Just a bunch of the white people, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he trips them. He throws So into one of the guys to knock him over. And, like, the bags scatter. So he mixes his bag in with their bag so that he can go later and retrieve it and then avoid the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good citizen would, right?
Sure.
So that happens, and they end up getting on the train. And he's got to get it back.
Right. And they're playing, like his father is trying to teach him, strategy and everything. So they're playing this game. And, Jackie, he doesn't want to learn this lesson. He's being kind of lazy. He doesn't really understand the point of all this. And his father is trying to like help him to like figure out and apply it to the rest of his life and all that stuff. And then the rest of what's going on this train, I mean, like people are crammed in there. It's a chaotic mess.
Oh, yeah. It's not comfortable.
No.
And at one point, someone tries to pickpocket the father.
Yes.
And they stop him. Like, the father does some move and gets it from him, right?
Right.
But then Jackie Chan wants to chase the guy down. But his father's like, no, just let him go.
Right.
But he's a thief. Yeah, and he failed. So let him go.
That's right. Yes.
He's kind of, I guess... He's very reactionary in the film compared to his father, who, the master is always very calm and calculated and knows the right move. And then the apprentice is always kind of flying off the handle.
Yeah, it's a tradition in these kinds of stories.
Yeah, that's the trope that comes with this.
Right.
And so he's not learning anything on this train ride.
right.
He just committed tax evasion. So there's a great moment because So is in the seat next to him, and he's like sleeping, and some guy throws a baseball and hits him in the face for some reason.
Yeah, and because like two guys like a little 10 feet away are playing catch
in the train,
in this crowded train where it's like, and there's this errant throw that hits So right in the face while he's trying to sleep,
and then he wakes up and dozes right back off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
I've seen people felled for like a little less. It's
yes.
Wow.
But this train is chaotic, is what we're
Yes.
trying to get across. So, I guess they get to a stop, and the sons want to get up and explore, so the father lets them. But really, they're going to find this ginseng they hid, and they smuggled on board. So
Yes.
they go and they have to get through, like the English cart, the first class cart, where all the fancy rich people are. And so they create a diversion by putting a bunch of ducks in there. Like, they let all these ducks and chickens loose.
Yep.
And everyone's running around screaming. So they end up getting through the cart during the commotion. And they get to the baggage cart, and they see there's an older man there already. And he's going through the bag, and he's stealing whatever Jackie Chan had planted there. Or
Right.
that's what he thinks, at least. But it's a different bag.
Yes.
So he chases him and tries to stop him. And we get our first real action sequence of the movie.
Yes. The chase goes. They're now under the train.
Yeah, they go on top for a moment
Yes.
and run along it, and then they jump through the carts and land under on the track.
And it's weird that every fight in the movie obviously is its own set piece. I mean, you're supposed to pay attention to it, and you do because it's very exciting. This fight is confined to being underneath one train car with Jackie Chan and Liu Carlong on their knees, essentially, trying to fight in gravel
Yeah.
with no sunlight. And there's this stick that Lau Kar-leung is using to like, try to get at Jackie. He's using it as a weapon. And like Jackie has to do all that artful dodging, but he can't move very well because there's no room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still an awesome fight, even though it's confined to about 6 feet.
Yeah, because he keeps shifting his body, his head to the left, to the right, or he like falls to his back and then rolls over and then like lifts his legs to dodge these stabs and stuff. And at one point, he gets like a sword, right? I forget how he even gets this, but he has a sword. And so he's fighting the spear with this sword, and it's just clanging constantly. And they're both doing incredible dodges and fancy maneuvers. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it goes on for a while, and eventually Jackie chases the other man to his lair.
Yeah, it's like some bombed out barn.
Right.
Yeah.
Where he has a bunch of stuff that he's gathered over the years, and then the real fight starts. Now it's opened up, and they can really do this, a Hong Kong action scene.
Yeah, and the whole time, this guy, this stranger, has been calling him a traitor. So he's been calling Jackie Chan a traitor.
Right.
And he doesn't know why. He just is. And so he doesn't have his spear anymore, but Jackie has his sword, and he's like, all right, fine, I'll put the sword down, and we're going to go hand to hand. And then we get some quick hand-to-hand fighting, which is really good. This is where we get to see the drunken boxing that Jackie Chan does in the movie.
Yes, because Lau Kar-leung, by his character, by the way, is named...
Fu.
Yes, Fu Wenqi. The
Master Fu.
Yes.
Is what later it's revealed, Master Fu.
Master Fu. And, like, Fu, during the fight, he's commenting on Jackie's fighting style.
Yes.
Because he knows that he's a kung fu master and he knows all the different styles, but like this drunken boxing thing, he knows Jackie's good at it, but he comments that it's only good for defense because he realizes that like throughout this fight, Jackie hasn't tried to punch or kick him. He's always just dodging the other man's offense. And I'm glad that it's really cool that the movie points this out. Mm-hmm. Like, you've been watching Jackie Chan fight for the last 10 minutes, but he hasn't really done anything. It's all been like, just him like on the defensive the entire time. And it's very impressive, obviously. And it's physically demanding, but he's not the one dishing out the punishment.
Yeah, because this style of fighting he's got his arms up in front of him, but they're kind of like hooked in, almost hanging in a weird way in front of him. Almost in a boxing stance, but the elbows are out, and his hands are kind of hanging. It's very unusual, and he's swaying back and forth. And the idea is you're acting as if you are drunk.
Yes.
And you're moving like you're intoxicated. And when the person comes at you, you're able to be nimble and do whatever you got to do.
Right. And your explanation for it makes sense, but I still struggle with like its usefulness.
Oh yeah, I agree. It probably isn't the ideal
right,
form of martial arts to be using. And I think that is considered, like, again, I'm not an expert on this either. Mm-hmm. And so
yeah.
I think it is considered like one of the least effective martial arts out there, this style of fighting.
I mean, yeah, because it's not going to win you a fight. It'll like make it so that you can get out of a fight with like minimal damage. But I mean, what are you going to do when the actual like onslaught happens?
Right. And the idea is too, like, you actually do want to be a little drunk when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Which we learn later his father is telling someone about the art. And the idea is when you're drunk, you feel a little less pain, so you can like handle the attacks coming at you, and you're more willing to do things. Like, I guess. It sounds like a bad night out to me.
It does. It sounds like just like loss of inhibitions at the bar. Like all of a sudden there's like exhibitionism going on.
Yeah. So you want to be a little intoxicated, but not too intoxicated, because
right,
then you can't control yourself.
Right, which becomes a conflict later on.
Yes. So and in this moment, he's not intoxicated at all. He's just using the style.
Yes, and when you were like sort of demonstrating, the movements of it, it reminded me of.
No one saw it, but I was doing what I was describing.
Yes, he actually, like, your hands looked like my hand when I write. I'm a lefty, so I have that curled, like gnarled hand. But also, it's the fencing pose. Whenever someone gets a concussion, you'll see their limbs unnaturally contort, and that's because they're they've been their brain is bruised,
Right.
and he's got his hands like that, and he's trying to have a kung fu fight while doing this.
Right. And so the Master Fu keeps commenting also about how, this isn't a good technique, and, I'm a master, you should stop trying to fight me. And eventually it stops, and because the train is going to leave, like the whistle's blowing, and Jackie Chan grabs the bag and runs off and gets on the train. Like, he barely gets on the train. He, like, runs and, like, jumps, and some guy helps him up there.
Some guy helps him up, yeah.
And as he's leaving on the train, Master Fu is kind of chasing him, but, like, waving to him, like, hey, that was a great match, young fighter,
Right.
because, that's what you do in kung fu movies.
I like that. I know
I
how
do too.
silly it is.
Like,
but,
I respect you.
Me too. Like, just earlier about, like, okay, more kung fu masters should all of a sudden just go, okay, time out. I'm too good. Just go away, kid. Go train some more and then come back. And also, like, I like the whole thing of, like, hey, that was a pretty good fight. Now I'm still better than you, but when you get back, we're gonna have one hell of a fight.
Yes, it's like they should be, like, saying what their power levels are and stuff.
Of course, right,
It's,
yes.
Oh God, but I love it so much. And so Master Fu is standing there on the train tracks, and he opens up the box that he was trying to steal, and it's not what he wanted. It's the ginseng that Jackie Chan was trying to get.
Right.
So Jackie Chan has whatever this guy wanted.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know it.
Yes, and he ends up getting back to his seat, and his father is like, didn't even realize he was gone, really. And they're sitting there. They're the rest of the train journey, and the customs officials come through.
Yeah.
And they want to. They know that, like, people were rummaging the rich people's luggage car, and something was stolen. So they're checking everybody's packages and everybody's bags.
So they make them all get out their. They've got, like, maybe half a dozen boxes with ginseng roots in them.
Yes.
So they're getting all the boxes out, and it's a funny scene because they're making, like, awkward movements with the bags, trying to get that bag. Oh, I missed that. Forgot about that one under the seat and stuff. And So, like, opens one over Jackie's lap to show the officials, but as he's got it up, he's unintentionally hiding what Jackie has, which is this, like, ancient Chinese artifact.
Right.
It's not the ginseng. And he realizes immediately, oh, crap, I have the stolen item. And so he, like, tries to hide that box, and the guards notice it, and they're like, well, what about that one behind you? And he's like, oh, this one. And he grabs a different one,
Yes.
Like, trying to stop him. And some guy comes and tells him, hey, I'm a detective. You can trust me. Like, leave them alone.
Right. He's they're immediately like, hey, what? Let me see your ID. And it's the guy who threw the baseball earlier.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, well, what does this guy have? And he gets out this identification, and the guard is like, oh, well, of course, sir. Please excuse me. It turns out this guy is a counterintelligence officer named Zhang, played by Andy Lau. And Zhang, we don't know what his motivations are, because why is he helping Jackie out of this jam? And all we know of him is that he was playing baseball earlier, and now he's got, like, obviously a fake ID, but everybody kind of just goes with it. And he's able to get them away from Jackie and his father and brother.
Yeah. And I don't know if he knew that he had the artifact or what, or if
maybe
he's just trying to say, I'm doing him a favor because I hit that guy in the face with a baseball.
I mean, is this the payback for the... I mean, it's pretty good if that's the case, and it deserves, like, some restitution. Hitting someone in the face with a baseball, that's a big offense.
It's a huge one. You're out of here,
Exactly.
mister. Come on.
That's right.
Yeah, so they luckily got out of this jam.
Yes.
And we cut from this moment to back at, their home. And there's a group of 4 women there playing mahjong and gambling and having a great old time. Yes. They're having a blast here gambling when they shouldn't be.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of surprising to learn it was forbidden mahjong. I thought they were just, having a nice time. But no, it's for money, and they're not supposed to be doing it.
Right. And the main lady who's there is, her name is Lynn. She's the stepmother to the kids. She married Dr. Wong.
Yes.
Played by Anita Mui. And she's excellent in this movie. I love her.
Yeah, Anita Mui, she's a very funny performance. And like whenever she is, as soon as she comes in, like the movie becomes like, it's very cinematic after this. Because I mean, she's just, all her stuff is like this almost like silent movie style comedy.
Yeah.
And she's expert at it.
She's really good. And I don't know much about her, but I read she was like a big pop star over there too, and an actress. So she did it all.
Right.
And so she's playing the stepmother, and they all walk in with the ginseng, and she welcomes them home. She hears they're coming in, and they scramble. The women scramble to hide the mahjong and the gambling.
Yes.
And then Dr. Wong walks in, and she's like checking the temperature of her 3 friends, like pretending like she's tending to these women.
Yeah, she's giving them treatments.
It's really funny because she is one person when she's around Dr. Wong and a completely different person when he's not looking.
Right.
Like he can be standing next to her, but as long as he's not like making eye contact with her, it's okay for her to behave completely different.
And I love that too because
Me
like
too.
Yeah, and because like the whole silent movie thing, I mean, a lot of what she does are these big theatrical gestures and like exaggerated facial expressions, and it'll be every time Wong turns his head, she becomes something different.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Donald O'Connor in Singing in the Rain when he's doing the routine with the dummy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's almost like vaudeville stuff.
Yeah. And she's always like in cahoots with Jackie Chan too.
Yes.
Like they're kind of like on the same page with the antics, and they're always trying to cover it up from father.
I know, and that's a really cool and unusual relationship of a stepmother and the son, because usually the stepmother, we're going to be at odds here, or step parent or whatever it is.
Yeah.
In this case, like, yeah, the stepmother and the son are like best buds, and they're always working together to put one over on the dad.
So funny.
Probably because they're the same age.
Yes, probably.
Yes.
And we get a glimpse of her doing like a kung fu move here for a moment too. So
Yeah.
like I guess there's more gambling tokens, and Jackie Chan's like, oh my god, like he holds him up like, what do I do? And she like goes whoosh, and like grabs him with her fist.
I mean, dude, that was really unexpected to see that like Anita Mui had skills like this.
And it's nice to see it up front because she does have like a quick fight later, and she can kind of handle herself.
Right.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she does like some really I don't even, it's not even quick, it's not quick moves, but it's like you're just looking at her going, oh my god, she can move that way. That's really something.
Yeah, I guess when you're in this family, you've got to be able to.
That's true.
Yeah, you got to. So this guy comes to the house after this, and he's looking for. He ordered some ginseng, so it should be here now, and it's for him. And it happens to be the one that Jackie Chan lost. I guess they're all different.
Yeah, this one, like, I guess really this bit of great ginseng that was like primo shit.
Look good.
Yeah,
it looked pretty good.
It was meant for this dude, and he's now here to collect. And Wong wants Jackie to go get it, and he can't get it. He can't produce it because all he's got is this priceless Chinese artifact.
I know, right? And so he asks his stepmom for help, and they're going nuts trying to figure out what to do. And Jackie ends up like pulling a bonsai tree out of its pot and like ripping the roots out to use it to fool them.
And I mean, I don't know how he thinks he's getting away with this. He eventually does with some sleight of hand.
Yeah.
But I mean,
because like the father doesn't see the root really that well.
Right.
Because Ling is distracting him. And she also was trying to trick the client into thinking this giant radish was ginseng.
Oh my god, yeah, right. Yeah, she brings out this thing. It looks like a radioactive plant. And she's saying that like, oh yeah, here's your ginseng.
This must be a 20-pounder. This
mean,
radish is huge.
I don't know. She must not have believed that he was going to buy this.
I guess not. But then she gets caught and then pretends like she shifts, her brain just shifts to the other mode as soon as her husband shows up. I mean, she's like, see, this is what you shouldn't be eating. You know, this counteracts the ginseng.
Right.
And he's like, oh, yes, that's a very astute observation. Yes, he may have never seen this before and could have counteracted the medicine.
Uh-huh. Dude, and like, this is also like where the screwball comedy comes in, because like she's doing all this like when Ling distracts Dr. Wong while Jackie is trying to pass off the bonsai root as the ginseng, like it's all happening right behind him, Dr. Wong,
Yeah.
and he just won't turn around. He just keeps saying, "Well, Ling, what are you doing? I have a guest. You shouldn't be interrupting me like this. This is very rude. How could you? Where are your manners?" He does the same thing. I mean, for about 2 minutes, and she just keeps like up with this diversion, and she's looking behind him, and she's like checking on the status. It's real obvious to everybody but the doctor what's happening.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah,
and
like,
that's what I like it.
he doesn't stop to say, "What are you looking at?"
Right.
and turn around. But that's what's so great about it. It's
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah.
And it works. It's really good comedy.
It's very funny.
And so they pull it off. The guy leaves with this root.
Yeah, God leaves very satisfied.
And you know, they're both very happy. They pulled it off, and they say they're going to blame So for the tree damage that happened.
Yes, because like the doctor notices that the bonsai has been messed with, and yeah, So already was like worried about that he was going to get blamed. He's definitely getting blamed.
Yeah, he's the fall guy for
Yes.
all their shenanigans, and he knows it.
I know, he's been dealing with it for years.
Yep. So this is the home life of the Wong family,
Right.
and so from here we cut to some big steel mill somewhere, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of guys working. You know, all these. They should be union guys, but I don't think they are. And
Not yet.
not yet. They're trying to. It sounds
Right.
like, but yeah, it's quitting time. The bell rings, and they're all like, "All right, guys, good work. Let's go. You know, let's go home. Good day." But no, there's a new foreman in town. He shows up and says, "Ring that bell. We got to do more work." And he gets in a big argument with all of the workers there. This guy
Yeah.
named Henry.
Yes, the guy, the foreman is named Henry, and he's working for the English consul, and he is there to not only tell them to get back to work, but to let them know that they're not going to be paid overtime for this.
No, not at all.
I mean, it sucks. That like this movie takes a firm stand, not only telling Westerners to get the hell out of their country, but it's also like fiercely pro-labor. You know, I mean, the bad guys are union busters,
Yeah.
like this guy Henry, and these workers aren't going to let these bastards like work them into the early grave without fair compensation. I mean, even to this day, this is somehow still a controversial point of view.
It is, and I don't know why.
I don't get it.
These are people.
I mean, it's just like, what is wrong with like compensating someone for the work they've done? Why do you insist on not doing this?
I mean, if you're smuggling, you know, goods out of the country, maybe you would insist on this, right?
I could respect that.
But pay them. Don't cause any trouble.
I know.
Just pay them.
Keep your head down. You want them to do this work for you? You want them to be happy and secure and want to do a good job for you? Then you have to reward them. You have to give them what they deserve.
Exactly. Keep it quiet. If you're trying to do illegal activities out of this factory, keep them happy. And I don't think they are aware of the smuggling of goods.
They're probably not.
Because
no.
I think later they open some boxes and find like these artifacts.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, this is what's really going on here.
Well, and I mean, it's weird to compare this movie to Blue Velvet, but here goes. But it's sometimes difficult to tell when this film takes place. Because while the citizens are all wearing period costume, the villains look like they're in an 80s action movie.
Yeah.
And
Nice suits.
yes, almost like Samurai Cop, like the
Yeah.
goons in that film. But like, I guess this is also maybe just this whole thing is commenting on, you know, what happened in China, obviously after they got rid of the English,
Yeah.
I mean, after they got rid of the monarchy. I mean, like it became 100% dominated by socialism to prevent stuff like this from happening. And then they themselves got extremely corrupt and violent and, you know, went a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like this whole thing of like not treating workers equitably, I mean, that is a major tenet of even the last 100 years in China, that this is not supposed to happen.
No, this shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't happen anywhere.
Right.
And so what Henry does, because they won't do what he says, he like jumps down from this big like walking like gantry.
Yes.
And fights everybody.
I mean, that
You know?
was unexpected.
He like flies down there and starts kicking everyone.
I mean,
Now back to work.
I mean, yes. You think, okay, he's going to get out his machine gun and go, okay, you are going to get back to work, and threaten him that way, and then they would do it. No, he jumps off of this platform and starts doing kung fu moves to 60 guys.
That's how you get him to work, man.
I mean, like, and they can't bring him down because he's that tough, because he's that good.
He's the foreman.
Right.
He got to be a boss somehow, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So, and Henry is played by Ho Sung Pak. That's his name. I just want to put that out there.
Right.
I think he's been in a good amount of Jackie Chan's movies and stuff. And other, kung fu movies. But
he's an expert fighter.
I think he's been in some of the Ninja Turtle movies, actually.
Wow.
I think he was. But
okay.
Don't quote me on that. But anyway, yeah, he fights everyone, and he at one point he gets like one of those. They're making like big like steel rods in this factory. He like grabs one out of the furnace and like swings it around and like hits everyone.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy.
That's what finally gets them to start working, is that he just burns 20 guys in their chests with this like, flaming rod. And and then, okay, I guess I'll do what you say now.
Dude, it sucks, man.
Right.
And so I guess this is the next day or something. We cut to a fish market on some dock somewhere. And there's a guy and a girl there, and they're both working at different tables and stuff. The one guy, his name is Sang.
Yeah, Felix Wong as Sang and Ho Wing Fong as Fun, the girl.
Yeah, and so they're having this banter back and forth, and they're talking about how drunken boxing is the best, but Sang says it's not, it's horrible. And I guess this is just everyday conversation
that's weird.
in Hong Kong.
I mean, I wondered about that myself. Like, is this just everybody just talks about like different fighting styles while they're at the fish market?
I don't know, but I mean, this scene here, this is what 11-year-old Scott thought Asia was like. Like, you just went somewhere and everyone is fighting. And everyone's just cool with it. And you're arguing about which style is better. Man. Like, that's just life.
And what you just described is what happens. Like, that is it.
That's that.
And I understand how it might have shaped your perception of...
Right, this and then playing Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
man.
like it's just that's just what happens over there.
I mean, we're so dumb.
Aren't we stupid? That's why they made the movie poster like they did.
I know, exactly right. I mean, they have to put a hat on a hat for Western audiences.
Speaking of Street Fighter, the newest one, I think it's 6, came out a few years ago, and there's a mode in it where you can run around the streets and just get in fights with anyone you want, like the fish vendor or the businessman.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
So it's literally finally letting you fight in the streets.
Okay, yeah, it's an actual street fighting game.
It's actually Street Fighter now.
Okay.
But anyway, Jackie Chan shows up here, and I think Fun has like a thing for him.
Yes. And she wants to learn the drunken boxing from him. She's really, one of the people who's interested in it. And it's weird. Like, she goes off to... Fun and Jackie go off to talk to each other after Jackie makes his fish order. And Sang keeps yelling across the crowd, hey, so what, you want like 10 pounds of fish? How much salmon do you want? Do you want it cut this way? He's like interrupting their conversation. And finally they're like, okay, look, you're being very rude. What's going on? And it's like, okay, we know this guy's motivation. He likes Fun, but he also wants to fight Jackie because he has very definite ideas about his own kung fu style, and he thinks it's superior to the Drunken Master stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean...
So he challenges him to a fight right here.
Yes.
He tells the crowd, hey, everybody, we're going to fight.
Like, clear as
Everyone
space.
clears.
Everybody
yep,
okay
right
with this?
Yep, right here. There we go.
Right.
And they just start fighting. And we get like a quick exhibition between the two guys. It's not like a huge fight or anything.
Right.
It's just a little quick one.
And Sang's not being fearsome about or hostile and vicious about it. He just really wants to fight Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Because he thinks it's a good challenge, and he's been wanting it for a little while, and he feels like, I guess, spry in this moment. Well, this is as good a time as any. Let's do this.
Right. He's on his break, It's the perfect opportunity.
That's true.
Right? But it's a draw, and they
Yes.
both kind of end the match respectfully. And that's it.
There's
and
a
it turns out
handshake.
like these guys are all friends apparently.
Yeah.
Because like in a few scenes they're all hanging out.
I know, and like Sang is helping Jackie, in the final battle and everything. I mean, he's there like on his side.
Yeah. In this moment you don't get any sense of that.
No.
it feels like there's this huge adversarial relationship between the two. But it's not. It's just a friendly exhibition at the fish market.
Exactly. The only thing that's keeping them from like being the best of friends is because they both like fun.
Yeah.
But like even that is not, oh, I'm gonna fight you because that's my girl. But it's more just like the fighting was separate from their relationship with the girl. It just
you just have to throw a fight in every now and then.
You just have. It's got to be done.
It's part of it.
Right.
It's part of the order. You get 2 pounds of salmon and some fighting.
That's right.
It's a throw-in. So while this is going on, like another part of town here at the market, Ling is trying to sell her necklace that she has because they have to somehow get this ginseng back and replace what they had lost because they're going to get found out.
Yes.
And so she's going to pawn off this necklace to one of her friends, get some money, buy some ginseng, and then in a few weeks try to buy the necklace back. That's her big plan.
Right.
She does this, and there's a couple guys at the market who know who she is and who Jackie Chan is now. Mm-hmm. They know, like, he's the guy, I guess. And so, like, he's the guy who stole the thing.
Yes, because earlier there was a short scene at the English consul's house where all the henchmen had gathered, and he, says, "Oh yeah, it's Jackie Chan, the guy from the train."
Right, yeah. We had like a 40-second scene of a bunch of white guys speaking Chinese about how they're bad.
I mean,
yeah.
it is, yes, right. And that dubbed white guy speaking Chinese thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's very funny. But whenever that happens, I always study their mouth movements to see what are they actually saying. And it's not even close, obviously.
So when you watched the movie, did you have an English dub or was it in Chinese with a subtitle? Because my version was subtitled in English.
Mine was also subtitled in English.
All right. And I rented it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You did that?
Yes, me too.
Were your subtitles jumping from left and right in the middle of the screen? What the hell, YouTube?
I don't know what that was about. I don't know if that was like part of their... If that was YouTube or if that was like, the production company. I don't know. Because there's several versions of this film that exist.
Yeah.
I guess like the original print has not been seen in 30 years. Like in either Hong Kong or in the West. And even the one that we watched, like the subtitled English one, like you can tell that the Chinese is also dubbed. I mean, it's one of those otherworldly things where you're like watching Jackie Chan talk and, okay, that's definitely his voice, but it is like completely ADR.
Yeah. And I found it hard to keep up with things at times because of the way these subtitles were working.
Jumping around the screen, I've never seen that.
And they were going very fast.
I know.
Felt like faster than they should. Maybe because they were moving. I mean, my eyes didn't have to track it around the screen.
Yeah.
And I paused it a couple times, and it moved the subtitles to the top of the screen.
When you paused
while it was paused.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what they've got going on at YouTube. They need to fix it.
I mean, yeah, you're goddamn right they do. Yes.
But anyway, we're here, and these goons have stolen the necklace.
Yes.
Because they got to get something back, right?
Yes, and they start, like, going through town, like, trying to get away with this necklace, and Jackie, it's close to the fish market. He sees what's going on. He decides to help his stepmother out. So he goes chasing the guy who stole the necklace down, and the guy got the whole purse.
Yeah.
And what I love about the whole thing with the purse is... first he gets it from the guy, and the guy like has the handle, and he makes off with the handle, and Jackie's got the rest of the purse. So it's like, okay, I saved all the valuables, and that's fine, but now the purse is ruined. But it's whatever. And then this fight starts, and
Henry walks up to him.
Yes, because Henry and a bunch of these other henchmen come up. And what I love about like the whole thing with the purse, it's a short moment, but I think it was very cool. When Jackie starts to fight these guys, Ling says something about, "Hey, my purse." And Jackie, in one fluid movement, while he's doing a chop on this guy, he flings the purse.
Yeah.
And it goes right into Ling's arms. It's such a small, minor thing, but I love the visual of him. He doesn't even acknowledge what she said. He's fighting. He's busy with this fight, but then he's got a purse in his hand, and he just flicks his wrist, and the purse goes flying.
Yep. And I think he even used it in a couple moves.
He did, yes.
Like he hit some guy in the face with it and like spun it around, and then he's doing more moves, and then he flings it back to mom. There you go. pretty cool stuff.
It's awesome,
And
man.
so while this is happening, the fight stops at one point because Ling runs up to them.
Yeah.
And, like, she actually gets smacked.
Like, really,
by Henry here?
I mean, yeah, she gets hit pretty hard.
And they make it a joke in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
not the domestic violence or abuse against women angle of it. The joke is that her mouth is kind of stuck in a crooked position and she's speaking weird. No one can understand her. It's a cartoonish gag.
It is. This is like Tex Avery
and
stuff.
I found it hilarious.
I did too, because like they made it into a joke. I mean, like it was,
Yeah.
they were letting you know, okay, this lady's not really hurt, everything's fine, and let's watch her do essentially like a Daffy Duck gag.
Yeah, because she's being Ling, and she's being loud and in your face. You know, this is the version her husband doesn't get. This
Yes.
is the obnoxious, scheming version of her. You know, this is the gambling in secret version of her coming out. And she just keeps yelling at, like, Henry, like,
Yeah.
and no one knows what she's saying. Jackie Chan's like, what?
Yes.
But that is really funny. But Jackie Chan's still fighting all the guys. And Ling says something about getting a demonstration in drunken boxing. I guess she's trying to promote this style that her husband teaches.
Okay.
Like promote the dojo or something.
So before we go on, I have to ask, like, does now I'm confused. Does the father teach drunken boxing?
I guess he did. I don't know because
it
he's
seems like-
against it now.
Yeah, he's against it. He seems like he thinks it's like a forbidden thing.
I have no idea. Maybe something from the first movie. but-
Okay, yeah.
But Ling keeps saying how great it is and stuff, like to everybody.
Right.
Right?
But everybody else thinks it's they don't like it. They
Yeah, it's kind of a joke,
right.
they think.
And they're suspicious of it.
Yeah. So, anyway, he starts fighting these guys, but she gets everyone to go get a bunch of alcohol, like wine, from inside the building, and they throw it to Jackie Chan, and he ends up drinking it during the fight. And as the alcohol kicks in, he gets more and more powerful. And he starts doing, like, really cool moves. And he's doing, like, the drunken stance and everything, but he's very sweaty now. He's very red. You know, this guy's totally wasted now.
Yes, and this drunk makeup they have for him,
Yeah.
where his face is just like
He looks burnt.
I mean, yeah, his skin is maroon now, and
It's cartoonishly red.
yes, and he's sweating, and like there's veins all over, pulsating on his forehead, and meanwhile, like he never stops being Jackie Chan.
Right. He's making weird faces and
Yes.
making jokes and stuff as he goes. And, like, he's doing a lot of cool moves, like he's Jackie Chan, right?
Right.
And some of them are, like, he's, like, swinging benches around.
Oh, my
or,
gosh.
like, he does one move where he, like, leans over some guy. Like, there's a guy on his hands and knees, and he catches, like, a bottle of wine and, like, leans backwards and lays on the guy with his head, like, hanging over the back, and he's, like, chugging this bottle of wine, and the guy, like, gets up and moves, but he's still holding that position. I don't know if this was real or if it was, like, wire work or something, but it looked awesome.
I think it is real.
I think it is, too.
Yeah.
Man, he's just holding that.
Yeah, and I mean, like we talked earlier about, how to plan these kinds of scenes and the practical method of doing it. I get that, but I mean, aside from planning when you're going to punch and kick, you also have to figure out when and where you'll put these obstacles, and how will Jackie get around them. And you also have to, like, plan for the non-punching and non-kicking stuff. Like, when does Jackie use his opponent's legs as a wheelbarrow? When does he kip up?
Yeah.
When does he do the worm? I mean, and he can make fighting look like a lot of fun. Even when there's, like, real danger, Jackie and his scene partners make it look like something you would want to be doing.
It looks awesome.
Yes.
And at one point, this might be how he wins the fight. I can't remember. He does, like, this spinning headbutt move where he, like, jumps through the air doing, like, spirals.
Yes.
And his head, I think he hits Henry in the chest with his head. And that's how he wins.
I mean, it's one hell of a finisher.
It's crazy. So he defeated everyone. But in this moment, he's completely drunk, right?
Yes.
And his father finally shows up and stops everything. It's like, what the hell's going on? And that ends the fight because we know he doesn't approve of this.
Right.
Yeah. How about we take a break now, Dave?
Yeah.
And we'll come right back and talk about the aftermath.
Yes, let's do it.
Social media. all the rage these days. And if you take part in this racket, head over to Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok and search for Dudes on Movies. Why, you might ask? Because we post supplemental material regarding the movies we're discussing. Photos from the films, behind-the-scenes articles, question of the week videos, and more. So if you want to be a part of the action, get over there and follow us now before this social media fad goes away.
We all want to relive our glory days. That's why we're starting a new series called Redudes. We're digging deep into our back catalog and redoing some old episodes. Films we feel need a deeper and updated conversation. Up first is Boogie Nights, which dropped in March, so please search for it and give it a listen. And stay tuned for the next Redo, Cruising, coming in June.
All right, Dave, we're back from the break. We're ready to talk some more Legend of Drunken Master, and we left off with Dr. Wong finding out his son's using drunken boxing. He's not too happy about it.
Right. Now, it's fine for Dr. Wong to not be happy about the drunken fighting. It's all good. I wouldn't want my children drunken fighting either.
No, just regular fighting.
Yes, right. I approve of like non-drunken violence. But my least favorite aspect of this movie is like this particular scene where the father's abuse. I mean, when Wong is beating Jackie, it goes on way too long, and this becomes a different movie. I mean, if he slapped him upside the head, like, what were you thinking? You know, like Saturday Night Fever, that's still bad, but I could get past it a little easier. This is a prolonged stick beating, and it's upsetting to watch this play out in what's supposed to be an action comedy.
Yeah.
Because, like, Jackie Chan is now crying, and he looks like he's being abused like a child would be abused, and it's not fun.
Yeah, and it's very shocking to see this twist of events happen.
Right.
Yes, the of course we know the beats of these kind of movies. Like, yes, the father's going to disapprove. They're going to have a big falling out. Something's going to happen. But we see him abuse his son, who's completely intoxicated and unable to defend himself.
Yes, because like we didn't illustrate fully how much alcohol he took in during this fight.
He chugged like 4 or 5 bottles of wine.
It's more than that.
At
I think it was
least.
double digits. I mean, like they just kept throwing him bottles.
Yeah, they kept throwing him a bottle. He'd do a front flip and catch it and then drink it.
Yes.
You know?
And he would do the thing where he would just like, he'd obviously chug the thing because he doesn't have much time in between kung fu moves, and he has to like, drink the whole thing all at once. That's why his face is this unnatural, like, magenta color.
So he's unable to defend himself at all.
Right.
And the father is striking him, and he's throwing him through the tables and destroying their garden.
Yes.
By this beating he's giving him.
And then he starts threatening Ling.
Oh my God, yeah, because she tries to stop him and says, like, it was all my fault, I take the blame for that, and, the bonsai tree and everything, like, it was me. And so he's like, well, I'm going to come and smack you too.
Yes.
It's like, oh, great. Where is this movie going?
I know, and the thing is, like, now he doesn't actually do it, so that, thank God for that,
Yeah.
but he's threatening to do it. He's like full on saying, yes, I'm going to physically abuse you. You deserve a beating for what you've done.
And he's about to hit her, and she fakes being pregnant?
I think she fakes being pregnant.
Yeah. It's pretty shocking when she says that.
Yeah, it's a pro wrestling angle.
But what about the baby? And he's like, what? Oh my God, the baby. And he gets kind of excited about it and starts to, take care of her.
Yes, because he's a physician, so he's like, oh, you must get off your feet. And he starts like asking So to bring her stuff.
Right, yeah. It's like Children of the Damned when, who was the actor?
Village of the Damned.
Village of the Damned,
yes.
Yeah. Not that one.
Yeah.
Village of the Damned. When he finds out his wife's pregnant, he's like, oh, let me get you a chair. Do you need anything?
That's right. He does pull a George Sanders.
Yes, he does. And, but she keeps trying to, like, give herself an abortion. Like, during this scene, she's like, I can't take this. I can't handle it. And she tries to jump and land on her stomach, and he has to keep stopping her.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And we just seen him kick the shit out of his son. Or maybe this comes first. I don't remember. But
it's kind of all, like, happening all at once.
Yeah, and, So gets yelled at, and he kind of tells the truth and gets everyone else in trouble because he's tired of getting in trouble.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just this huge falling out.
I know.
And, it ends with him saying, like, you're not my son, get out. He, like, kicks him out through the doors. And he ends up striking his father during this too, which just makes it even worse.
Right.
Apparently. Because, I can't defend myself against my father who's kicking my ass.
I mean,
that's just inappropriate.
Yeah, the whole thing of like a dad doing that to their child, and then the child fights back, and now, that's very dishonorable. You can't do that. Oh, really?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he runs away crying, and the father is laying there on the ground because he just got hit. And So runs after him, but he starts to go the wrong way, and the father says, "Hey, So, he went that way."
Yeah.
Because I like that little final touch there because it shows the father still loves Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not going to regret what he's done, maybe just because that's the way a father acts,
Sure.
in these situations, and it's fine. But he loves his son enough to want his brother to go the right direction to get him.
Yeah.
Even though he said he disowned him just now.
I noticed that too, and I was like, okay, that's sort of that's the slightest bit of redemption. It doesn't change what I just watched you do.
Right, it doesn't make it okay.
Absolutely
right?
not.
But it still makes you know, like, okay, yes, he behaved very inappropriately.
Right.
But he still loves his son.
And it also tells you that the movie thinks that this guy is not the villain too.
Yeah,
It's telegraphing
Yeah,
that.
he's not the bad guy, even though he's doing bad things.
Right.
Yeah. That is a very tonal shift here we get.
Yeah.
A huge tonal shift.
And I really wish it wasn't there, to be honest. I think that you could like do the whole movie without this.
I don't mind it so much.
Mhm.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I don't condone that stuff in real life, right? But
Of
it's a
course.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So I find it fine, and I kind of do enjoy the tonal shift. I kind of like it.
Okay.
Yeah. We can disagree on that.
Sure.
But the movie keeps going, and we catch up with Jackie Chan. He's at some restaurant, like late at night, completely drunk still. He just keeps drinking.
Yeah, he was already, about as drunk as any person in any movie has ever been. And
He's leaving Las Vegas,
I mean,
this
this
guy.
is like, holy crap.
So Elizabeth Shue shows up. Wait, I mean Henry shows up.
Right.
Jackie Chan sings this song at this bar. And it's like called "I Hate Daddy."
Yeah.
and he just basically recaps the whole movie up to this point while singing drunkenly. Right. It's kind of funny. People are just watching him like, what?
Right.
But yes, Henry shows up with a bunch of guys and this other goon named John.
Yes.
This tall guy.
Yes.
Ken Lo is
Right.
the actor.
The actor is Ken Lo, and this guy he's very imposing, and he looks like he's in charge. And the whole deal is that they're there to, I guess, get revenge on Jackie for what happened earlier, but Henry is like warning John, hey, this guy, you don't mess with him. And he's like, this guy? This drunken mess over here?
Yeah.
And Henry goes, no, you don't understand. You should have seen him this afternoon. He was just a house of fire. I mean, like, he took out 6 of us.
Yeah, and he was drunk then.
Yes.
So be careful.
Right.
But Jackie Chan is just too far gone.
Yes, this is one time where he has gotten drunk enough that his Jackie Chan powers are useless.
Yes, he can't be doing magical moves or
No.
anything. Like, it's not happening. John just completely beats him into the ground.
Yes.
Like, it's not even a fight. He just kicks him.
I mean, it's one hit, pretty
And
much.
he's like, Henry, this is the guy? Are
Right.
you serious?
Yes.
I guess Henry probably reports to John, and then John reports to the other white guys or
Yeah,
something.
that's what it is.
Because
Like-
Henry and John are both Chinese.
Right.
But they have English names.
Yes, and they're working for the English consul, so that's probably where they got that.
Yeah.
And then they're proud to, I guess, they're working for the enemy, and
Yeah, later they say Jackie Chan calls them traitors
Yes.
because they're smuggling out Chinese, ancient artifacts that are very precious.
right,
And they're like, hey, we're just making some money, dude. If you want to call us a traitor, fine.
right.
Yeah. So you're the bad guy.
I mean, yeah,
you're the bad guy.
right?
then.
Exactly.
It's pretty easy.
Yes,
The movie's very black and white with that.
it is. Like you're working for the white assholes. Yeah, you're the bad guy.
Yes, sir. So yeah, he gets the crap kicked out of him, and we cut to him. He's lying in bed at home, and So is tending to him. I guess they went out and found him and brought him home.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting in bed, and he's he seems like he's still a little drunk here, but he's also very upset. And I guess he just got his ass beat too, you know.
Yeah.
So he's sitting in bed injured and he's crying.
Yeah.
You know, he's been beaten down by his father physically and emotionally, and John just kicked him up.
Yeah,
So
he took all that damage from 2 fights and the whatever his dad gave him, and the emotional toll it took on him. I mean, he's in bad shape.
He's in bad shape. Actually, you know, I can't believe I skipped this. Like, how he got into the bed is because they found him strung up in the middle of town.
I don't know. I forgot that.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
He's nude, hanging from this, you know, pole in the middle of the town square. He has a big, there's like a cloth covering his private area with a message that says like, "Drunken boxing sucks" or something like that.
Yes. And like the people, the townsfolk who see him strung up the next morning, they call Dr. Wong to come get him. And like they want, you know, him to you know, handle this, but also like wants them to get him down in time for like not every citizen to see this.
Yeah. So he gets him down.
Right.
And that's when we cut to him in bed.
Yes.
And I guess something else we kind of brushed over is Dr. Wong is upset about all this stuff for other reasons too. Not just he forbid drunken boxing, but Lynn was trying to sell her necklace, which got a rumor going around that they're, you know, hard up financially.
Yes, that's
And he's
right.
trying to start this fund to help these like drought victims. But now everyone thinks that it's a lie. He's just trying to get money because he's broke.
Yes.
And so it's ruined his reputation and all that. So that's another level to his frustration and anger with all this stuff.
Right. It definitely explains the rest of his motivation.
Yeah. But Jackie Chan's back at home, and he does overhear his father talking to people about the drunken boxing. This is where he learns, like, if you drink too much, you're going to lose control, which is what happened to him.
Right.
So he does come out, and he talks to his father. He kneels down in front of him and kind of apologizes, and he says, you know, I'll never drink again.
Right.
I promise. And they kind of reconcile here a little bit.
Yes, and I like that he makes this commitment to not drink anymore, at least not to that level. I mean, my God. It's just,
come
you know,
on.
you could have a sip of wine at Christmas maybe, but like, holy shit, what are you doing?
And you don't have to fight.
That's the other
That's
part
fine,
of it.
you
You
know?
don't have to do kung
We
fu
can just
moves.
eat dinner.
Right.
It's fine. So there's a knock at the door here, and Ling answers the door, and it's the thief from the beginning of the movie,
Yep.
Master Fu. We don't know his name's Master Fu yet, but it's the thief. And
Right.
we're like, oh my God, this guy's here. Because we know he realizes he has the wrong item, and he's trying to get back the artifact. So Ling sees him and doesn't want to let him in or anything, and they start fighting. This is where we get a quick fight with Ling, and we
Yes.
realize she's kind of badass.
Right.
So she gets him, you know, on defense, and then Jackie Chan shows up and is like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And he starts fighting him. And then after a moment, Dr. Wong comes out and starts fighting him. Like they take turns fighting this guy. And while Dr. Wong is fighting him, he realizes, oh my God, this is Master Fu. You know, he's a military hero. And so they like, you know, join arms and they're like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? And they walk inside. I guess everything's fine now.
Man, this moment in these kinds of movies are always my favorite because I just love the camaraderie of recognizing that your opponent who was like your enemy because of some other circumstance is actually very honorable.
Yeah.
And you find that your comrades in this. Oh, it's this guy.
Yeah. Sorry, I tried to fight you when you knocked on my door. That's just what we do in Scott's brain when he's
Sure,
11.
of course.
It's fine.
Yes.
So Jackie Chan tries to find that the artifact, and So is using this ancient Chinese artifact as like a mortar and pestle,
Dude,
to
he's-
grind up ginseng.
He's grinding ginseng with this priceless statue.
And this is why he's treated this way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because, I mean, he had to know when he opened up the package, okay, whatever I'm looking at, this looks really old, and it looks very valuable.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to touch it.
This is Fredo Wong.
Dude,
That's what it is.
Full on, he is Fredo. Yes.
So from this moment, we cut to Jackie Chan having lunch with Master Fu. They're at they're down by the dock again, like the fish market, And they're up on the second floor of this restaurant, and they're talking about this artifact. And Master Fu is explaining to him, hey, the English are trying to smuggle these out of the country and take them back to put in their museums, and we can't let them do that. We can't let them take advantage of us. We have to stop them.
Yes.
Otherwise, our grandchildren are going to have to go to England to study Chinese history, which is a powerful statement.
Yes, it is.
And that touches on the colonialism aspect you already mentioned, and it really drives it home. And Jackie Chan understands. He's like, yeah, we have to stop this.
You know, and it continues to this day to be an issue whenever we go to any museum here in the States, and it's full of treasures from around the world. And it is great to be able to see this stuff, but I mean, should we be allowed to see this stuff?
Yeah.
Should it be here? Should we, if we were just borrowing it and it was an exhibition that we had to, you know, like, okay, it's only here for these 3 weeks and you got to go to that museum to see it, fine. But it's not. It's not on loan. It's just here.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff that is like that, but most of it's not.
Right.
You know, it's stuff we got back in the day, and you don't know we got it.
Yeah.
But we're going to have it.
Right.
And, you know, as soon as people find out about it, like other countries find out about that, I think we do try to make it right usually. Most institutions do.
Yes.
But I don't think they're going out of their way to do that kind of thing.
Absolutely. They don't seek it out.
No, because that's funding going somewhere they don't want it to.
Right.
You know, that's money we need. It's unfortunate that it happens, and it's a catch-22, right? Because it is interesting to go see that stuff,
Yes.
right? It is good to learn about that stuff. But the way we've obtained that isn't worth the price.
It's not, and it almost makes like the whole profession, like all of archaeology, somewhat questionable.
Yeah.
Because whatever you find, it should just stay. Okay, oh, we're here in the Middle East, and oh, look at this, you know, this amazing statue. Well, let's see, where's the museum in Mosul? Here, okay, there it is. Right.
I feel like the world has made big strides in that nowadays.
They have,
like,
yes.
Like, I think, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure I've heard, if you find something in a country, it's theirs.
Right.
Like, they keep that.
Yeah.
Unless you have, like, some agreement, like a contract where we're doing this and we have rights to take this,
right.
and it's agreed upon and all that. But yeah, if you stumble upon something, it's that country's.
Absolutely. And I have, like, the last time, I can't remember what museum it was in Pittsburgh that I went to, but it had, like, even in the lobby, like, before you even went in, it had some kind of, like a disclaimer almost, like, hey, read this, because it's important to know, you know, how how we came about some of this stuff. And it touches on those issues that we're just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, hey, some of this is unfortunately, you know, it was stolen.
Yeah.
You know, and we hope to make this right one day, but for now, here it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have this very important conversation at this restaurant, but then they notice it's very quiet, and everyone else has left the building. They're the only two people here now. That's very unusual.
Sure.
And only happens when an axe gang's about to show up.
Yes.
And now this fight, Dave, this is what I remembered most vividly from watching this back in the day. A gang of about 80 people with axes attack these two guys.
Right. It's spectacular, obviously, because watching Jackie Chan and Lau Kur-lung credibly fight all these guys and flying around, I mean, it's like when... One of the coolest aspects of the fighting is when, like, limbs get tangled or pinned, and then it leads to either additional offense from the executor or a counter move from the defensive man to break the hold. Mm-hmm. Like, when Jackie escapes a hold, he sometimes corkscrews in midair, and by the time he comes back down, he's attacking again.
Yep.
And he does that in this sequence, I don't know how many times. And it's never the same. Sometimes the corkscrew is vertical, other times it's horizontal.
Yep.
It's always him, like, doing, I don't know, like a 720.
Yeah. And he's hitting people while he's spinning, too.
Yeah, he's, like, the moves never stop while he's spinning.
He's incredible in this. There's a moment where he drops to the first floor, and he's under a table. And it's like a square table with like the 4 legs, and then there's little braces between each leg at the
Yes.
bottom, and he's kind of turtled under it, and he's moving through the crowd of people and spiraling the table as he moves. And so all these guys have axes and they're trying to like hit him, but like because of the movement of the table, it's like flinging the axes off, like bouncing off of them.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And it's practical too. Like, even though it's a really cool stunt, it's like, hey, that's a good maneuver against all this axe attack.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you defend it.
Yeah, and like the table's acting as a shield,
Yes.
right? And so at one point he stops, and some guys also have these giant bamboo poles,
Right.
and they all like go to stab him, like 4 or 5 of these guys, and they all like stick it through the table legs, like, and he like manages to like contort into a certain shape where like they all miss him and get tangled up in the table, but he's stuck there too, right? And what they end up doing is like they push him and the table like back and then flip him upside down onto the top of this bar, and he looks like a turtle that has been flipped on its back.
Yes.
It's pretty awesome. And like before they can attack him in this open position, Master Fu notices him and like throws a bamboo shoot down and flings him up onto a rafter. It is so cool.
I never saw that move coming. I mean, because I thought, okay, Jackie's going to do something else to, like, get out of this. But then, oh no, it's just that Master Fu happened to notice that, like, what's going on here, and he improvised in that moment with that bamboo shoot.
Dude.
So cool.
And now they're both like on the second floor fighting, and dude, it is awesome. The gang, there's like one stairwell that's very like narrow along the side of the building that comes up to the second floor, and then a bunch of windows around the second floor. So there's guys trying to get up the stairs, and then there's a bunch of guys coming up through ladders through the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackie's like fighting the guys in the windows, and they're like flying off the ladder and stuff. And then Master Fu's like knocking people off the steps. And at one point, he notices the stairs are a little too rickety, and he does like a power move with his foot and breaks the staircase.
As men are approaching, like they're coming up the stairs, and he realizes, oh, I can just destroy this staircase with like one power move. It's great.
It's so good. But then, as he's like backing up to fight more guys, he gets an axe in his back from some guy in the window.
Yeah. And I mean, it's amazing that he went this, I mean, obviously, if you're fighting 80 people and you eventually get an axe in the back, I think you did okay if you managed to fight off 45 of these guys.
Pretty good record, definitely.
Right.
But even with the axe in his back, he's still able to fight.
Yeah.
Not as effectively as he was before. And like a lot of the guys are down on the floor now. Like you said, 45 of them have been defeated. Something like that. A lot of guys are down.
I mean, at one point, it's like all the windows where the guys keep like running up the side of the building and attacking through these narrow windows. It's almost like Jackie is doing whack-a-mole. He's just going from window to window, kicking guys as they come in through the windows, and like they'd fly down, and then more guys come through this other window that he just like left, and there's obviously still axes flying around and stuff.
Yeah,
wow,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then at one point, like we've mentioned these big bamboo poles that people have. Jackie gets one at one point, and he's like spinning it around, doing his moves and like knocking people out, hitting them. But it's like shattering and splintering down one end. So it's like flopping around at the end. It's almost like a flail.
Yes.
And it's about to like come apart completely. But Master Fu tells him to like take his shirt and tie it around the bamboo pole. And so we get an awesome like reveal of Jackie's physique here, and he's just, this guy is glistening.
Dude, I know.
Dude,
yeah.
and in this moment when he takes the shirt off and like wraps it around and ties it tight on this bamboo pole, and he like holds it in stance ready to fight, it just looks so cool. Like it looks as good as Bruce Lee when he's about to fight,
I know.
you know?
Yeah.
Like it looks excellent. And he's using this pole to like poke people with these like pronged ends now, and it looks so painful. Getting like stabbed by like these hundreds of little needle points at the end. And what's interesting is the shirt kind of acts as this weird mechanism. If he slides it up or down the pole, the prongs at the end become more flimsy or tighter.
Yeah.
And he's like doing that as he's moving and hitting people and like mixing up the moves he's doing with this thing. It's cool.
I can't believe he has this much control over this improvised weapon.
Man.
Yeah.
It is so awesome. This is a lot of people love the final fight in the movie, which is still excellent, but this is my favorite in the film.
Yeah, this sequence here is tough to beat.
It's awesome. And so they end up like jumping out the window onto some awning, and there's like 8 guys on that awning.
Yeah.
And it just collapses under the weight.
Right.
And I think at some point, like Sang and Fun and one of their other friends show up.
Yes.
And they want to help, but they end up like running. I think someone gets the artifact or something.
Yes.
And they get away.
Yes.
But John or Henry or someone shows up, and they end up shooting Master Fu.
Right. And at this point, this is like Master Fu's death scene because like Fun and Sang, that they're tending to him, and because Jackie asked them to, like, hey, take care of him. And to be honest with you, I don't remember like what his dying words were. What was the significance of his?
I don't remember what he says, but he does a big like plop over.
He does, yes.
At one point,
yes.
Very dramatic.
Sure.
And then I think Sang says like, "They'll pay for this."
Of course.
It's awesome. And immediately he says that, and like even before he can finish the sentence, it cuts to him sneaking into their mansion.
Yes.
Like
We are moving.
Like the movie, I would say the movie almost moves too fast at times.
Okay.
Like the end of the movie from this point kind of just, we're just going as quick as possible to the next scene. We're not setting anything up. We're just going.
Well, dude, I guess I know what you mean in that maybe that is a little unacceptable just from an academic perspective. Like if you were grading someone's essay, you'd be like, okay, you need to give this time to whatever. But like we're so used to all the farting around that we see in other movies that I was just like, it was so refreshing to see a movie that's almost 2 hours feel like 90 minutes.
It is amazing, right? Like how long it is. It feels quick. I almost said the movie needs more time. And I'm thinking, wait, no, it doesn't.
Right.
I don't want this movie to be longer. Right. But it almost does in a way because it does jump real quick to this thing. But they get into the mansion. Sang like climbs through the window and he's got like a sword and stuff with him. And then Jackie has also snuck in and he's wearing like English safari gear.
He is, yeah.
Because some of these guards here are wearing that with like their muskets and whatever. They're going to go hunt elephants and rhinos. I don't know who chose these costumes.
I know,
but like that's the weird like anachronistic thing you were talking about.
Yes.
Like these guys should be on safari, but they're dressed in nice suits, like getting artifacts back to the 80s. Like
I don't. Yeah. I really don't know when this is supposed to be because, like, it's definitely after Puyi, but like, how far? I don't know. And I mean, we don't see Chairman Mao, so like, what's going on? Where the hell are we?
Yeah, and all the sets are very. It is a period piece, though.
Yes,
compared to all of Jackie Chan's other movies, especially
right,
where he's like contemporary or a cop or whatever. And
right,
this is taking place a while ago.
Exactly, and that was. My one, I guess, not a beef really, but just like it would have been nice for there to be, China, 1924 or whatever. That would have been okay. You know.
And it's probably around that time, I
Yeah.
imagine, because I can see people with the English safari gear on.
Right.
There were nice suits then.
There were
very
yes,
nice
of course,
suits,
yes.
and there were pistols, swords,
certainly
spears, trains.
But
it was all there.
But John and Henry don't look like 1924.
No, they look like villains from Miami Vice.
They do exactly. They are wearing 80s clothes.
It's so good. I love it. And I love how they have white guy names.
Yes.
Like the white guys are the bad guys in this movie,
that's
dude.
right.
So I'm totally cool with it, dude.
Right.
But they sneak into this mansion and they disarm a couple guards and then they end up in a dark room, and before they can like light anything or see what's going on, someone else turns the lights on and they're surrounded by tons of guards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, man. Game over.
Right. And you're not expecting that after what we just saw. You're thinking, okay, like Jackie and Sang are going to go in there and they're going to track down somebody.
Yeah.
But no, the guards they surround him quickly and they get the jump on him, like right then. And then just like the scene with the father beating Jackie, it's hard to watch Jackie and Sang being like brutalized in this prison.
Yeah, it's strange. And it's like, it only happens for like 30 seconds. And then we cut to them getting out of prison, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, because it turned into Midnight Express there for a second, and then all of a sudden they're just out.
I know. They're in prison boxing. Like, there's this whole underground boxing circuit they're involved in that we'd miss out on. And, like, they're just getting clubbed to death.
Because at one point they get strung up and are just being, hit with clubs. And I mean, like, and it's brutal.
They must have been in here for weeks.
And then they're just released.
This is what I said. Like, the movie has pacing issues, I think.
Yes.
Especially near the end. So, yeah, they get released because the father gave up his property to get them out. Because earlier, like, the rich white guy, we don't even know a name for this guy.
Right.
Like,
he's a nameless.
He's just the bearded white guy.
Right.
And he said something about how this like dojo, this school next to his property is too loud, and he wishes he can get rid of them.
Yes.
It was like a half a minute scene.
And he said specifically, like, he told John he wants to take care of that, and it's that guy, like, looking at just essentially Chinese culture and saying, I don't want that near me.
Yeah. I don't want it near my mansion and my steel factory.
Right.
That's annoying.
Man, fuck this guy.
Yeah. So, the father, Dr. Wong, has sold his property to him to get these guys out of prison.
Right.
Which, man, this guy, I guess they're in the like English consulate. It's English territory. They're technically in, right? So like their rules apply, even though these laws are not lawful. I can tell you that.
Oh, of course not. Right. And like, obviously, I mean, even after the colonists were driven out of mainland China, I mean, like, the British kept control of Hong Kong until the year 2000.
Yeah. So, they get out.
Right.
And immediately, they find out that all the workers got laid off for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess they refused to work, so they got fired.
And it was after the work that they needed was done. After the English, like, found, okay, so they've gotten this task done. We're just getting rid of them. We don't need them anymore.
Gotcha. So they're all laid off. I think this is when they kind of find out, they have the artifacts in here. That's how they're getting them out of the country. There, one thing I wanted to mention, which I thought was hilarious, right before this scene, but when they get out of prison, Ling says something to Jackie Chan. I think she says, "Your obsession with Kung Fu has destroyed your father," which I thought was just the funniest line ever. Okay. It's ridiculous. They're all obsessed with Kung Fu.
I mean, it's kind of like a Kung Fu-based society from what we see. I mean, it's just nothing but everybody is interested in Kung Fu. They talk about it at the fish market. And yeah, Jackie's no more obsessed with it than anybody else is.
It's not his... That's not what destroyed your father.
Absolutely
his obsession
not.
With Kung Fu.
Right.
But I just thought it was a really hilarious, like, out of place and untruthful line. I had to point this out. And she's been on his side the whole time.
Yeah.
So it felt weird, too, that she's kind of, like, finally not on his side.
A strange source for that to come from. Right.
But yeah, everyone's been laid off. Everyone's out of prison now. And, they find out what's going on with the smuggling, and so they all agree, like the workers and Sang and Jackie and everyone, like, agree, we're going to go here and stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a big bum rush of, like, the gates of this factory. Like, all the guys show up, they start fighting the guards, and it's a big fight out in the front.
Right.
And so everyone gets there before Jackie Chan. He kind of shows up later.
Yeah.
And he's wearing, like, robes, and he's very calm now. It's a little strange.
Yeah, and his presence there, like, he's not in the vanguard. Yeah, it's all like the other workers they're out in front, and then Jackie comes later. And I know why, like, he's doing this is because, he's obviously the we're going to watch whatever he's doing because he's the star of the film. But it is strange the way they position him like this, because you would have thought that if he's the heroic, if he's the hero of the film, he would be out in front leading everybody into the factory.
Yeah, but instead it's like Sang and everyone else
right
out in front, and There's a really cool move where one of the guards has this gun, like a pistol, and he's going to fire it, but Sang uses his sword and chops right between the hammer and the chamber and blocks it from firing.
Yeah.
It is the coolest kung fu move ever.
And I've never seen that anywhere else.
It's pretty neat.
Yes.
It's unique for sure. But I think Jackie does start fighting like near the front eventually to like kind of bust through. But they all get through the guards, but only Jackie Chan goes inside. Everyone else kind of holds it down outside.
Yes.
And this is where we get like the boss rush on the final level. All these movies do it. I mean, you got to have the big fights at the end, and a lot of times you go through like a mini boss, and then like a gang of guys, and then you fight the super boss at the end.
It's where video games get their plots is from these films, and like it makes sense, and it follows logic, and I appreciate it.
I like it.
Yeah.
So the first guy he fights when he gets in here, like this big dude comes out. And he has a giant metal chain wrapped around his hand. And he's flinging it around like a whip. And it's got to be 100 pounds, right?
Yeah.
This thing has to be heavy.
Right.
It looks heavy, though, too, in the film. It doesn't look like it's a cheap plastic chain.
This is not a prop chain. This is real.
Yeah, it looks pretty real.
Yep.
And so he's flinging it around and, like, striking at Jackie. And they ultimately end up, like, wrapped up with the chain.
Yeah.
And he pushes Jackie. He's got, like, a foot on Jackie Chan. This guy's really big.
Is this John?
This is not John.
Oh, okay.
This is some shirtless dude.
Oh, that's right. The other shirtless guy. Yeah, that's right. This guy looks like a video game boss.
He does, yeah. And so, yeah, he's at the end of Double Dragon or something.
I was about to say,
dude.
yes, exactly.
And so Bimmy and Jimmy show up, and they start fighting him. But no, they're all kind of wrapped up in this chain, and he is able to push Jackie Chan against one of the furnaces that's like 10,000 degrees.
Right.
But Jackie has his foot kind of pressed against it to stop him from going in, and his foot lights on fire.
Yeah.
And what he does, he's able to somehow get enough force to bring his leg up between the two of them and kick the guy right in the face with this flaming foot. And that defeats him. It's a cool move, but it's entirely impractical. Like he would just go tumbling into these flames if he moved his foot.
I love the idea of like a flaming kick.
Yeah, dude.
That is so cool. But yeah, when his foot is resting against the 10,000 degree furnace, it reminds me of like we've talked about it in other like in volcano movies when there's like lava and someone is like like they're 20 feet away from it and they're just like ooh man I don't want to get too close or they're like in John Carroll Lynch in the volcano when he's it just that's not how this works. Like if you're that close to it, that's it for you.
You're done.
Right.
You're done.
And if your shoe was against this furnace, that's it for that shoe, and your foot is now on fire, not your shoe.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to walk around.
No way.
And beat up some more people.
No way.
But yeah, he does defeat this guy with the flaming kick, and it rules.
Yes.
And so he's able to move on to like the next room of the factory, and there's a bunch of, I don't know if it's the same room or what, but like a bunch of guys come out and start fighting him at the same time,
yes,
right? Like
course.
a bunch of grunts come out. They're using like the metal rods that they've got to fight and stuff. And so he's taking care of all of them pretty. I mean, it's a gang of guys, right? So it's like the axe fight. He's outnumbered.
Yeah.
And so he's got to use his spins and moves and kicks to get them all very quickly. And a cool thing about this little sequence is there's these big metal buckets that are on chains going up and down and slamming into the ground. So he's like got to like dodge these as they're falling, which is kind of cool. And like there's no big giant defeat of any guys here.
Right.
Except what we saw earlier in the film, to make the coals hotter, there's these little bamboo containers that have some kind of alcohol in them that just stoke the flames. You dump it on there and it makes the fire. Now it's 15,000 degrees instead of 10,000,
Right.
So one guy gets this and like throws it down at Jackie Chan, and it kind of lights him half on fire, but it also lights like other guys on fire. They're really on fire. Like, it's real.
Yes. You can tell, like, Jackie Chan is, like, his suit is on fire, and he has to roll around and put himself out.
Yep. And then he goes, it might be Henry who's throwing the flames at people. I can't remember. But Jackie Chan tries to go up the stairs, but I think he throws more flames at him, but he dodges and it hits another bad guy. But Jackie goes back to help the bad guy, which is a nice touch.
Yes, it is.
That guy's going to burn to death. I'll kick him with a flaming foot, but I don't want him to burn to death.
Well, of course, but it was another thing of, like, Henry being up on that partition and just throwing fire down, trying to get Jackie Chan. Yeah, that's what he's aiming for, but, like, he could hit anybody. It's like Longshanks in Braveheart, you know, like sending the archers out.
Yeah.
It's just he knows that there's going to be collateral damage, but he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care.
Right.
Who cares, you know? So Jackie ends up, like, putting him out, and he goes up the stairs, and now he gets to fight Henry. But John also shows up.
Yes.
And so it's a 2-on-1, and there's, like, a track up here with, like, mine carts. So they're in the mine carts for a moment fighting, which is kind of... I kept thinking of Indiana Jones when I saw it. And it's not a big, exciting sequence like that. It's just kind of moving along the track a little bit.
Right.
But
they're not in them very long.
No, it's not long at all. And so, like, John and Henry are teaming up. And this is a pretty exciting fight. Because these guys... They're masters, right? Like,
yeah, because these guys are...
These actors, these guys are masters of this art.
They're as talented as Jackie Chan when it comes to, like, all the kung fu. And to watch them do this thing with one another, it's never not really exciting. I mean, like, you're always just like, oh my gosh, what's next? And to watch these guys, I hope I said that correctly. What I meant was, it's a very exciting fight.
Yeah.
That's what this is. And their skill is just second to none. And... it's three guys, like, absolutely at the top of their craft.
Yeah. And especially Ken Lo,
Yeah.
who plays John, the tall guy. He's doing kicks like I've never seen before. He's standing on one leg and continually kicks with his other leg.
Yes.
He'll kick high, low, interchange between the two without putting his foot down, just standing on one leg. And he's going at, like, rapid fire speed. It's just like...
You can hear his leg.
I don't think that's a sound effect either.
No, it's not. That's Ken Lo.
It's amazing to watch. And Jackie is trying to just dodge this stuff the whole time. It's cool. And these kicks go on for a long time.
Yeah.
And at one point, it just goes on so long, you go, this is unbelievable.
I know. The sheer number of kicks. I've never seen a kick barrage of this kind in real life before. But yeah, Ken Lo does it.
He does it, and he does it very well. And he kind of gets the upper hand on Jackie Chan.
Right.
And ends up knocking him back into these hot coals that are on top of this furnace. This is like a big set piece of the movie, a big stunt for Jackie Chan. He actually falls into these coals, like, backwards, lands on his butt and his hands, and has to, like, scramble backwards out of it. Of course, he's got, like, fireproofing clothing, and I'm sure his hands are covered with gloves that look skin tone and, like, some kind of jelly that stops the flames, you know. But it's still 10 million degree fire.
Dude,
yeah.
I mean, you know, it is a 10 foot by 10 foot field of coals. I mean, like, it's there, and you can see they're glowing red. I mean, this is real stuff, and some of them are still on fire. And so when he lands on this, he is landing on, like you said, like, it is burning him. I don't care what kind of fire retardant ghee he's got on, or what kind of, like, flame jelly he's got on his hands. No, he's going to be burned from this.
Yep. And the incredible thing is, he did this twice, because the first time he didn't think he was realistic enough.
Okay.
So he did it again.
Yeah.
Man.
I
hope they used the second take.
Same here, dude. I mean, that's always my thing, is that, like, if you insist on this kind of abuse, then hopefully whatever came last is what got in the can.
Well, they probably did, because I read that Jackie Chan directed the end of this movie.
Okay.
Because there was some big conflict with Liu Kar-lung about what to do, and so I guess he quit or was fired or something at the end of the film, or when they were doing this, and so Jackie Chan, like, secretly directed this movie.
Yeah, and I know that, like, him and Liu Kar-long, they had other disagreements throughout the production, and it's interesting to see that they can have such symmetry together on screen, but then, like, when they yelled cut, they were if not at each other's throats, at least, like they
Yeah.
didn't see things. They weren't eye to eye on stuff.
Yeah, and Luc Harlung has a huge catalog of
Yes.
famous movies he's made.
He's a
Like,
very accomplished filmmaker and, obviously martial arts master
yeah,
too.
he like almost created the genre
Yes.
of it, and he's a big name. So to have a big conflict like this with these two guys who are like at the top of the game,
Right.
it's unfortunate, but I mean, I could see why, because they're both like it should be this way, it'll be better.
Yes, and-
they both know how to do it right.
And they're both obviously like unquestioned experts, but you get more than one of them in the same room. I mean, who's going to come out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Right.
so yeah, Jackie Chan did this twice, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
And the fight just continues. And we see him get out, and his hands and face, like the makeup on his hands and
Yeah.
stuff, it looks horrible. Like this guy's horribly burnt.
Yes.
He's disfigured almost. But he's got to still keep fighting, because Henry now has like a hot rod of iron and is like trying to hit him and poke him and stuff. And John is, still flinging around those kicks. Dude,
Yeah. The circumstances haven't changed.
this is not good.
No.
He just crawled through flames,
Right.
and he's still got to fight these guys.
Now, when does he find the alcohol?
It's in this moment.
Okay.
He sees the bamboo shoot and realizes there's alcohol in there.
Right.
I can use that to my advantage. So he takes it and chugs it. This is like industrial grade factory alcohol.
Yeah, this is not liquor. This is
This
like
isn't Suntory.
No,
This is-
no.
Yeah, this is used for a factory to make steel.
he just downs it. and it's very much like every time he does drink alcohol, it is like Popeye.
Yeah,
it
it is,
gives
yeah.
him strength.
Yeah, it's liquid spinach.
It is. Yes. No. And we know it, and we see him doing it, and it's just he just starts like downing these bottles, like, and he's badly burned. I mean, like,
Oh, man.
the skin is melting. His flesh is melting off of his face, but like he's got powers now because he is
powered up,
right.
So like he's drinking this and he realizes like, whoa, this is potent. Because he burps and like bubbles come out of his mouth at one point, and then flames come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like he's drinking a second bottle of it, and Henry's coming towards him with like a flaming rod, and he spits it at him, and all of this liquid catches on fire, and it's a giant fireball that just engulfs Henry.
It's like he actually has dragon fire.
Yeah.
And he uses it to like spit at Henry, and then like for the rest of the scene, Henry is now like way more disfigured from the fire than Jackie Chan is, and they even give him like a pullover mask that looks like a really unfortunate burn victim.
Like his face is completely disfigured, but he's got like Frank Severo hair. Like, it's weird.
What was that?
But yeah, he's pretty much defeated at this
Yes.
point. And now it's just John, and he's still flinging his leg around.
Dude, and yeah, the final fight between Jackie versus John, I mean, like, it really can't be described in our format, because, I mean, how do you, like, other than just, like, telling you every move that happened, it's incredible to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible isn't even the word. It's just watching these guys with this kind of ability do this, and this is after you've already been watching this kind of stuff for a while, and you're still this thrilled by it.
Yeah, and they keep stepping it up.
Yes.
Like we've seen the legs going crazy here, right? But like he gets powered up here too for somehow. Like
I
he's
know.
like right in Jackie's face, and the leg is moving faster than ever, but not hitting him. And then he like pauses for a split second. Then you get a big whack with the like final kick.
Yeah.
It's like a super kick at the end. He's like all the flailing around like powered him up or something. Like. It's so cool. And then Jackie does the same thing to him, because now he's like the drunken master, right?
Right.
So he's got these powers. And Jackie Chan does like a shunting to him through his shirt. Did you notice that? Like he like is down and does an uppercut through the guy's vest. Yeah. Like his hand goes between the vest and his like tucked in shirt.
Uh-huh.
And he chokes the guy. But then he like pulls his arm up and breaks the buttons off the vest. It reminded me of a shunting.
Wow. I hadn't thought of society since our episode, but I'm glad you brought it up again.
You should think about it more.
You're right. I should think about society much more often.
Yeah. But yeah, he chokes him, and then like he ends up getting him on his shoulders, like he's gonna do a wrestling move to him.
Yeah.
And he steps up on a box and then like dumps him down through a table. Like this is a wrestling match now.
Well, okay, so the way he drops him from behind, it did remind me of like it wasn't Razor Ramon's finisher. It was where he would bring a guy up and he'd be holding him in front of him and then he'd fling him backwards.
Yeah.
It's that move. It's a reverse gorilla press slam.
Yeah, it's like that, except he has him resting on his shoulders, and it's like a shoulder press hold, and then dumps him backwards. But he's like up on a some kind of table, and then drops him down a few more levels, and that's how he wins.
Yeah.
I felt like that move was a little anticlimactic for this level of a fight.
So I know what you mean, but because I felt the same way, but then after I thought about it, I was like, well, what could they have done?
Throw him into the flames or something. That's all you could do.
Other than
T-1000 the guy.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But no, he throws him through a crate.
Well, I mean, if he's in a vat of like molten steel, then that's really a painful, terrible death.
He gives Jackie Chan a thumbs up.
I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Like, he just like starts tapping on his temples.
There's one more drunken master.
But I mean, I think the going through the crate is about that's good enough for John.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. But again, like the pacing issues, it immediately jumps to the police celebrating that they've caught these criminals.
Yeah,
and like the town is celebrating, and Dr. Wong is there. You know, everyone's all happy. You know, we've saved the day. Yes. And it just cut to this immediately. Like he's in a box and then cut.
I know.
Smash cut. I think Jackie Chan passes out before it cuts though. Like because he's just industrialized his insides with this liquid.
I mean, yes.
So,
yeah. He has like done irreparable damage with whatever he drank.
Yes, because we see him now. He's back at home. He can't talk. He can't see. Yeah, this is really bad.
I mean, and it's played for laughs. Like this terrible affliction, he's going to spend the rest of his life struggling, and he'll have to be taken care of every day. And it's like, it's just comedy.
Yeah, because he turns around and like is making like goofy faces.
Yeah,
and I know they cut this. I think in the American release because they found it was offensive for mentally handicapped people.
It is.
It is, but I didn't mind it being in the cut I watched. Like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, it could have been way worse.
It could have been way worse. Like I could still buy it. Well, yeah. He does have brain damage.
Yeah.
He definitely does.
In that way you can defend it because it's like they're showing the consequences of this kind of behavior.
Right, but he is kind of exaggerating a little bit. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Especially how it's like dun, 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 and then we go right to the gag reel. Like they don't even.
Yeah, it like freezes on his face.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then it cuts to him, dodging a bamboo pole a little short and stuff like that.
And then like you see him on fire in the factory, and then he starts rolling and it's not going out, and then like the crew comes over and starts hitting him with fire extinguishers.
Yeah. Good time.
Right.
That's the end of the movie.
Yes.
Yes. Dave, you have anything else?
Well, for Western audiences who have seen movies that copied these movies before they saw the original movies, you can immediately tell where those movies got their stuff from. I mean, like, there's a moment during the final fight between Jackie Chan versus Ken Lo where Ken Lo, his attack looks just like Neo when he realizes all of his powers, and he's moving faster than the robots. Yep. It's exactly that same style.
Yeah.
And then the sequence we talked about where we were really impressed with Liu Kar-leung and Jackie Chan fighting all the guys in the restaurant. Yeah. I mean, that is just right. Kill Bill stole the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean...
he did.
Yes. It was when the Crazy 88, Uma Thurman does all that stuff and she's awesome, but I mean, like, it is almost the exact same choreography in many places. Yep. It's just they've ratcheted up the violence, of course. And it's great. I think Kill Bill's a great movie, but I mean, like, you can just like, oh my gosh, like some of this stuff is just like almost beat for beat right from Drunken Master.
Yeah, and Tarantino has done that with all his movies.
Of course.
Like, and he has admitted it.
Yes.
Like, this is where I got all that shit.
Yes, he always like admits where he stole stuff from, so that you can kind of respect that.
Yeah, if you like this, go watch the real one.
Yes, right, right.
Speaking of Neo, I watched the trailer for the American release.
Oh,
and it's bad. It's got like Matrix music in it and stuff.
Oh man!
And
oh no!
And the trailer guy says to take them on, he's got to Taiwan on. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
It's bad.
oh, fuck!
It's really bad. And then it's like going like
Dude, oh.
like the whole time. Yeah.
I'm speechless.
All right. Well, would you recommend the movie even though you're speechless?
Yes, I would. Everybody watch the cut we watched, and please don't seek out the trailer that Scott just described.
I will agree. Yeah, check it out and watch all of his other movies too, especially the stuff from the 80s and 90s. Like that is just peak stuff. Even the his Hollywood stuff is not bad. Like Rush Hour is a good time.
Yeah.
And even the Shanghai movies, like you can check all those out if you want. Might be an easier entrance point for you, but all this stuff from the 80s, like all the Police Story movies, like this, you got to check these out.
Right.
All right, so that wraps things up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the show anywhere you get your podcasts. Rate it, review it, and most of all, share it. It gets more dudes listening to the dudes, and you can go to dudesonmovies.com and find anything you need right there.
Yep, and we're on Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram. Look for Dudes on Movies, and our email address is dudesonmovies@gmail.com.
That's right, and Dave, we have a question of the week. What is the question of the week?
What are your favorite movie fight scenes?
That is a very good one. Hit us up and let us know, and stay tuned next week when we discuss 1994's Interview with the Vampire, directed by Neil Jordan and starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. So until next week, I'm your dude Scott.
I'm your dude Dave.
And we'll see you next time.